Real quick before this episode starts, I just wanted to let you all know that the Small Church Musicians Podcast is going on the road. That's right. Thursday, April 18th, the Small Church Musicians Podcast is going to be at the Chris Tomlin Holy Forever World Tour opening night in Newark, New Jersey. Get your tickets because they're selling out fast. And if you listen to the show, come say hello. I'd be honored to say hi to you all. See you then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Small Church Musicians Podcast. My name is Justin. I'm your host, and I'm a small church musician. I'm on a journey to find the best sounding equipment for my budget and to talk about the songs that God has used to make me who I am. Today, we're going to be looking at my newest piece of gear, and it's one that I've been really looking forward to talking about and using for a long time now. Today, we're going to take a look at the Electro Harmonix Nano POG. Let's dive right in. So the first question we have to ask ourselves is, what is a POG? The first thing you need to know is that POG stands for Polyphonic Octave Generator. So it's an octave pedal, which essentially means that it can generate multiple octaves for your input signal. Now that means that as you're playing, this pedal will add in either low or high octaves to your signal, and you can blend them together with your original signal. This also has the option to do either or. You can have just the high octaves or just the low octaves. I like balancing the two. It's really, really cool. There are multiple versions of the POG by Electro Harmonix, including the original, which has a much broader set of controls. The POG 2, which again has a bigger set of controls and a preset switch, and it also has the very popular Micro POG, which is the first version of the POG with the same controls as this, the Nano, which is what we're going to look at today. But the Nano doesn't have that broader set of controls and a much, much lower price tag. The biggest differences between the Nano and the Micro POG that I've found are their dimensions. The Micro has a height of 3.5 inches, a width of 5.8 inches, and a depth of 6.2 inches. And it comes in at about $244 US. The Nano, again, which is what we're looking at today, meanwhile has a height of 2.75 inches, a width of 4.5 inches, and a depth of just 2 inches. So it's significantly smaller and has a smaller footprint on your pedal board. It also comes in at the much less expensive $184 US, so you're saving about $60 if you choose to go with the Nano. I went with it because I wanted the POG sound, but I wanted the smaller pedal board footprint, and saving the $60 was a nice bonus. Before we go any farther and we actually hear the Nano POG, let's talk about its controls and some of the features that it has. The POG is powered by either a 9-volt battery or a 9-volt power supply, which it comes included with right out of the box. I think that's an amazing feature, and credit to Electro Harmonix for including it, because not a lot of companies do that anymore, and like I said, I give them a whole lot of credit for that. Some people do like just running these pedals off of a 9-volt battery, but I personally don't trust it. I don't want a chance a pedal just dying on me halfway through my worship set. So having it powered is nice, and I just run it through my regular pedal board power supply. The pedal's layout is pretty simple. It has one mono input jack and two distinct output jacks, one for your original signal and one for the signal being affected by the POG. The purpose for this is that you can run the signal to two different sources which have sounds affected and not affected heard simultaneously. I personally haven't experimented with this, but I can see the appeal. You can run it to two different amps, and you can blend them together, and it's really cool for people that are into that sort of thing. As for the controls themselves, the POG has controls for the upper and lower octaves, which you can blend in as much as you'd like from either register, and a dry control signal, which allows you to bring in your signal's original mix. The pedal is turned on and off with a simple foot switch, and I do have to tell y'all, and I can't stress this enough. In my testing of this pedal, I found that the controls are very, very sensitive, so turning the knobs up or down just a little bit will go a long way, so be very careful as you're working out what you want from your sound. So now let's ask one of the questions that I'm sure a lot of us are asking if you've never used an octave pedal before. How do I use this pedal in a worship setting? Well, I want to give you a little bit of context to help shape our thinking. Usually an octave pedal can be used to enhance lead guitar parts, my favorite examples being We the Kingdom's use on their songs Child of Love and Holy Water. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the sound was in Holy Water's lead guitar riff because it sounds so good, but I never could put my finger on just what that sound was. And then I heard a POG, or an octave pedal in general, and I said, that's the missing ingredient. That's what that song needed, and that's what's there. And it really does make the song sound completely different. because there's a version of the song that was released for Chris Tomlin's 2020 Good Friday performance where they don't have the full We the Kingdom lineup. They have Chris Tomlin's band performing the song for We the Kingdom's vocalists, and there's a definitive difference. He doesn't use the octave. He just plays the guitar signal straight in with an overdrive pedal. So it does make a discernible difference. Adding in the octave really does change how we, the listeners, perceive guitar parts, and it adds a whole nother dimension to the song. I mentioned Dan Carson from Chris Tomlin's band and how he didn't use his micro POG when he played Holy Water, but the fact is he regularly does use a micro POG to bring in an upper octave into the prettier, the more worshipful bass songs that they play. In a little bit, I'll play Holy Water so you can hear what the octave does to the lead guitar tone versus without having it in there. You can hear the significant difference. And then I'll play a quieter, more pretty song with the upper register dialed in so you can really experience the difference, because it does make a big difference. And I'm not just saying these things. I really do mean it. I'm going to be playing my PRS Starla for the electric guitar signal, and I'll be using my Luna Gypsy Muse equipped with a Fishman external pickup for the acoustic guitar. As always, I recommend listening to this part of the show with headphones so you can hear the two different guitar parts panned left and right. And I'm not going to go through my whole signal chain in this episode, but I'll have it in the description if you want to read what exactly I'm doing. So now, let's hear the POG in action. Oh my goodness, I love that sound. Like I said, from the first time I heard Holy Water at the start of the pandemic, the full We the Kingdom version, not just the Good Friday version where Dan Carson plays the guitar to it, I've been obsessed with trying to figure out that tone, and it sounds so good, and it creates such a unique sound for the lead tone. And the fact that it's an octave pedal absolutely blew my mind. I thought there was some secret tech, but no, it's simply just an octave pedal. And it really makes this lead part stand out, and it's so much fun to play. Now let's hear the upper register and a Chris Tomlin worshipful-inspired guitar part. I love using the upper register for making a song sound prettier, but I want to know what makes us perceive it as prettier. And that's a question, quite frankly, I don't have the answer to. We'll have to talk to somebody who has more musical knowledge than I do. But all I know is the higher sonic register resonates with part of our brain, and for whatever reason, we just enjoy it more. If anybody has a more scientific or musical answer why, please tell me, because I genuinely want to know. But bringing in the octave pedal really does add another dimension to your playing and allows for some serious creativity. So I've got to be honest with you all. Before I purchased a POG for myself and really played with it and experimented with it, I didn't really understand how I'd personally use it in worship. But having now tried it out for a bit and put it through its paces, I can see myself using it more and more, especially on specific songs. Just for example, I recently used it on our arrangement of Child of Love by We the Kingdom, and I love the sound that I got out of it. And like I said, now I get why Martin Cash uses it as much as he does when he's writing We the Kingdom songs. It adds so much to the song. This is a great pedal that I think will help you write and create different guitar parts for your church's worship songs. I'm glad I decided to test this out for myself, and I hope I've shown you what the value is in having this type of pedal on your pedal board. Really quick, let's hear the lead guitar part to Child of Love with the POG engaged. Oh, that's so much fun. I very much pray that this episode has been of some entertainment and help to you all, and you can help me out here at the Small Church Musicians Podcast by liking the show, leaving us a review, sharing the show with someone on social media, and of course, subscribing to the show for more episodes like this. Also, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Twitter. Just search Small Church Musicians Podcast, or you can follow the links on the Spotify profile page. It'll take you right to it. I upload new episodes of the show every Tuesday between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Sundays between 1 and 3 p.m. with my other series, Songs on My Radar. Also, I just wanted to remind everybody that I'm going to be at the Chris Tomlin Holy Forever World Tour opening night, Thursday, April 18th. I hope to see you all there. I can't wait to worship with you all. It's going to be a great experience. But remember, everybody, my goal for this show is that it'll become a resource for everyone listening, but especially to my fellow small church-based worship leaders. We're all dealing with a unique set of challenges, and you need to know that you're not alone on the journey that you're walking. God has called each and every one of us to lead his people in worship, and that's an awesome and humbling responsibility. So please, please remember that you have friends, you have allies, and you have resources on this road that you're walking. Until next time, I'm Justin, and I'm a small church musician, and I'm on a journey to find the best sounding equipment for my budget, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week.